Dr. Maxine Dexter is in her first term as a U.S. Congresswoman, and she's already making waves in D.C. The Portland Democrat defeated fellow Democrat Sushila Jayapal in November in Oregon's 3rd Congressional District, one of the bluest districts in the nation. It covers Multnomah County, most of East Portland, part of Clackamas County, and Hood River County. A critical care physician by trade, Dr. Dexter is learning the ropes in Congress while trying to be effective as a member of the minority party. Congresswoman Maxine Dexter, welcome back to Eye on Northwest Politics.
Thank you so much for having me, Ken. It's a pleasure.
Well, let's first talk about a bill you introduced. It's called the Stop Musk Act. It's aimed at prohibiting Elon Musk from, quote, retaliation against any federal employee who stops or attempts to stop unlawful or unconstitutional actions by Elon Musk against federal agencies and for other purposes. Now, Republicans control both houses. Elon Musk is acting under the president's orders. The bill has no chance of passing, so why introduce it?
Yeah, well, first of all, we have to respond to my constituents who were calling by the thousands last week and the week just after Elon Musk started his unlawful and unconstitutional purge of the Treasury highly private information. So that really triggered people being concerned for their social security numbers and their bank account information. We're calling saying there's got to be something that you can do. And clearly there were federal employees being fired for no cause. And that led to us really feeling like we had to step in and protect these federal employees who are not just keeping our Treasury running, but our air clean and our water safe to drink, and among so many other things.
Let's get more specific about what agencies you're most concerned about. You mentioned Treasury. I assume when you talk about clean air and water, you're talking about EPA. What else are you concerned about in terms of what DOJ is doing?
You know, DOJ is going one by one across the board, you know, whether it's the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the Department of Education, like it's just every day it's something new. So federal employees across the board, we know, are being purged. They're looking to fire 75%, as much as 75% of our employee base. And these are people with enormous skill and knowledge, and it is extremely short-sighted for us to let them go. Plus, it's frankly not legal to just fire people without cause.
Oregon Health and Science University has sounded the alarm about the president cutting grants from the National Institutes of Health for medical research. Oregon is among the states that sued over those cuts. So what's your take on that?
The grants that we are relying on for scientific investigation and innovation are foundational to the medical care that we receive and the ongoing innovations that we as Americans have come to rely on. We set the stage for the world. And so that is because of the reliability of NIH funding. It is without question one of the major drivers of scientific investigation. So the fact that they are just putting these things on hold for people who have been working, you know, for generations or for decades, not generations, but individuals working for decades on this research. It's short-sighted, it's absolutely disruptive, and it's going to hurt patients across our country.
As a physician, what did you think about Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s confirmation as Secretary of Health and Human Services?
You know, I'm a member of the new Doctors Caucus in Congress. We are a 6-member Democrat physician group, and we all stood in solidarity against RFK Jr.'s confirmation. It is reckless, it's dangerous, it's absolutely short-sighted. The fact that the man couldn't even describe the difference between Medicaid and Medicare, the foundational components of our healthcare system for the vast majority of Americans, was really concerning.
The Oregon congressional delegation, excluding the only Republican, of course, Cliff Bentz, has been pretty vocal about opposing many of the president's policies and his cabinet nominees. Isn't this kind of spitting into the wind since the GOP has the power now?
You know, it's true. They have a trifecta. They are responsible for governing, and it is our job as representatives for Oregonians who don't support this work to be vocal, to do everything we can to make it clear that this is not consistent with the values of the people that we represent. Of course, we have people of all political spectra in our districts, but the vast majority of people here in Oregon do not support the actions happening. So, yeah, it is up to us to speak loudly and to stand up for the people of our districts.
We did have Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield on the show last week. And as I said earlier, he's initiated or joined in lawsuits to stop several of the executive orders. So do you see this political battle being fought in the courts rather than in Congress?
You know, we're going to have to fight this battle on every front. So absolutely, the courts are an important part of this. And frankly, the foundation of our republic is that we have three equal branches of government that serve as checks and balances. And so we are relying on the courts to check this executive authority in a time where Congress is less likely to do that because they are in alignment with the executive branch. So the courts are likely one of our most powerful tools to check this really concerning executive power that's being leveraged right now. The other thing is the public sphere. So we need to have people continue to do what they've been doing. We have heard from Oregonians by the thousands about their concerns, and that needs to continue. Even better when people are speaking up to their Republican colleagues. One of the most challenging things about being in Congress right now is that we are not seeing, good people, Republicans who want to represent their district, standing up against what is unconstitutional. The fact that birthright citizenship is being challenged, that is a constitutional right. And we aren't hearing anybody speaking up on the Republican side, even in that area. So I'm looking for courage from some of my colleagues, especially in the House. There's a narrow majority, and we are going quickly towards a government shutdown if we can't start working together.
We've got less than a minute in this conversation, and I just want to have you weigh in on one other thing. You're in the House, so you don't get to weigh in on Senate confirmations, but do you have any thoughts on Lori Chavez DeRemer's nomination as Labor Secretary?
Lori Chavez DeRemer is an Oregonian. She understands the issues here. She certainly has been a collaborator with a lot of labor unions. So of all the concerning appointments, Lori is not one for me. I am supportive of her.
Congresswoman Maxine Dexter, good luck in Washington, D.C., and thanks for joining us on Eye on Northwest Politics.
Thank you so much, Ken. I look forward to it next time.